Welcome back to Barnstable This Morning. I'm Sarah Colvin, and joining me live in studio, Town Manager Tom Lynch. Tom, good morning and Happy New Year. This is your first appearance for 2015.
Yes, Happy New Year to everyone out there, all our viewers. And started off well with a victory with a Patriot, so
yes.
We're hoping that next week will also be a good Monday after a victory on Sunday.
That's right. We've got our fingers crossed. So lots of stuff to cover today, Tom. Wanted to start by talking a little bit about the Cape Managers meeting.
Yeah, I wanted to go back last Thursday. Here in Barnstable, we sponsored the Cape Managers meeting, and I had invited Cheryl Bartlett, who's working now for Cape Cod Healthcare, former Commissioner of Public Health, and Cheryl came and talked to us about the work that she hopes to be doing through the Cape Cod Healthcare on the opiate and drug issues here on Cape Cod. And she gave a very informative and fact-filled presentation of not just the seriousness of the situation here, but throughout the Commonwealth. She's had the advantage of visiting every city and town here on the Cape to look at the problem, and I should actually say throughout the Commonwealth to talk about the problem. We're not unique, it's something we all have to tackle. So it was very interesting to hear other town managers and town administrators talking about the issues that they had. She's volunteered to come out and talk to our town council as well as boards of selectmen. So I think we'll see Cheryl out and about trying to engage the community in more of a conversation on this. And as you know, our town council has been very active and involved with this, and also at the regional level. So we're hoping that that we'll have better news as time goes along. We also at the managers meeting talked about healthcare rates. The Cape Cod Municipal Health Group will be meeting later this month to look at any increases that might be there based on our experience and our utilization of healthcare costs. So that was informative. Over the weekend, I had the pleasure of going to the opening of the Amy Bakery over in Osterville. Councillor Crocker and Gail Nightingale from the Business and Professional Association joined the owner and workers there and cutting a ribbon with Ellen and Kelly were there from the Hyannis Area Chamber of Commerce. New bakery along the main street, and they're hoping to have a very successful business there. So it was a nice little way to start the day on Saturday.
And I saw some pictures. A friend of mine was there over the weekend, and it just looked spectacular. Delicious baked goods, kind of like a French bakery kind of a thing. I think you can get the local juice. The girls that do the local juice, they've got those there.
Yeah, Jen Villa from the Little Beach Gallery and business partner she has started up a local, I think it's called Local Juice, and they were roots and cultivated and harvest, I think, with the different types, and they were very healthy, and picked up a couple of bottles.
Very nice.
We'll see if it works. But no, so they're young entrepreneurs and out there, and it was a very nice, I think. In the evening, kind of built around the football game, I went over to Bob and Alex Frazee's home, where they hosted a meeting of the Indian Ponds. It was actually a social gathering of all of the board members and interested parties for the Indian Ponds Association. And I find it was a social gathering, but I had a chance to talk to individuals who've been involved in helping with Mystic Lake and Hamblin Pond, and for a long time, and there were a couple of things that stood out. One was the dedication that they have to our freshwater lakes and ponds, and that they know how much work is going on with the 208 water study, the estuaries, and also we're talking about how important it is for these water resources. In Mystic Lake, one individual was telling me how for years the cows would come through that cow tunnel that was there and go down to the lake, and so there's an agricultural pollution that went on over the years that needs now to be rectified. And I got the fun fact that Hamblin Pond at one point is 65 feet deep.
Wow.
That's deeper than parts of Nantucket Sound that people can see behind us there. So very dedicated group of individuals, and one of the women I was talking to was saying how she had been involved for many years in it and was always concerned about whether young people would come into the group. And you could tell from the group there was a nice mixture of young people and citizens who had worked for a long time on this. So I think we have good leadership that's going to continue to work with us here in Town Hall. And again, they're appreciative of all the work the Conservation Commission and others have done to try to improve the water quality in our lakes and ponds. So.
Great, and nice to see that there are some younger people, younger residents of that area taking note. Very important, I think, to have that kind of participation.
Have that same sort of environmental concerns that many of us have shared and worked for over a long period of time. So there are others that will pick up the gauntlet after we've left. So.
Great. So we're in budget season, getting kind of, things are picking up a little bit. I know the capital improvement plan has been the focus, and you had several meetings last week regarding that. So where are we in terms of the CIP?
We will be over the course of this month and into next month, sitting down with every department head and every department on their capital improvement plan. And we did the airport earlier last week, and then we spent a good deal of time with the Department of Public Works, the airport, and the landfill, and the water department. They're all enterprise accounts, so we're looking individually at what their reserves might have and what monies they have that can handle any sort of capital improvement that they are putting forward. Then we went into numerous projects that the Department of Public Works was come out of our general fund. Mm-hmm. So when people look at that budget, they have to realize that some of it is coming from general tax fund dollars, and others is coming from reserves that have built up through fees and various other ways that the enterprise funds have built up their reserves. So again, this year it'll be one of those situations where we have many more projects than we can fund, but we're certainly going to once again look at infrastructure needs that we have, to be sure that we're dealing with our roads and bridges and buildings. And but I appreciate the thoroughness with which our department heads have been putting forward their projects this year. And it's a chance for us to really dig down into the need for the project, the cost of it, are we getting the right numbers that are there? And this year, we're also trying to take department heads that might be putting forward a project that might also involve, say, community service might have several projects, Department of Public Works would be involved with them. All department heads are sitting down at the same time to talk about these various projects so we can get their input, because you're trying not to deal with each of the areas in isolation. While you do need to sit and talk with the department head and the folks who are actually administering that, it does spill over into other areas. And naturally, when we're finally coming up with a final list, it's not just the priorities that come up to the top in each of the single areas, but it's the overall projects that we have to look at too. So that's going to be ongoing, and Mark Milne and Mark Ells and I sit with them and Bob O'Brien, of course, and go over those projects very closely. So perhaps as we go on in the next few weeks, I'll pull out some of those projects and talk about areas where we think we'll do. One thing we'll definitely be putting forward again in the new CIP plan will be the $3.25 million that we've been doing regularly for public roads. And we've seen the results of that throughout town, and we're not going to slow down on this at that point in time.
Absolutely.
And I would add that, the first act that our new governor, Governor Baker, came through with was he released $100 million in funds that for road repairs through what's called Chapter 90. And for Barnstable, that means about actually $1,090,000 that'll be coming to us. And we had programmed for that money, but we hadn't spent it, of course. So that'll allow for additional projects to be added in the coming year.
Great. So we'll see some road work happening in the coming months or in next year. Exactly. It's always good to have that road work taken care of. Well, Tom, I thank you so much as always for coming in to join us. Great to have you on the show, and we'll talk with you again next Monday. Have a great week. Thank you very much. Thanks so much. Tom Lynch, town manager here in the town of Barnstable. More to come on the show. Dr. Mary Chakowski, our superintendent of schools, is next. We'll be back with more Barnstable This Morning.